Well, we know you want to have your first sip of wine, so I think we should get started. Welcome to another episode of Wine and Design. We're here in at Nine Hats Winery in Soto, which is a cool neighborhood just south of downtown. I'm here with a good friend, realtor in the Seattle metro area, Katlin Lee. Welcome.
Thank you. So good to be here.
Since this is wine and design, I figured let's dive into what we're drinking.
Okay.
Which hopefully it's as jazzy as this music.
Yep.
This is the Nine Hats. I think it's the 2014 Malbec that you selected because it looked tasty.
I selected it because I love a Malbec.
And who doesn't? I love this wine. I've had this winery a couple times before.
So good.
They are a really approachable $20-ish bottle point. And we don't like to bore people with the tasting notes other than when you need a $20-ish bottle of wine to go with your red meats or whatever, or a party, this is a good option.
Yeah, this is a great wine. Really easy to drink. It's not sweet. It's not too dry though. I think it's really, really wonderful. And
it'll lubricate the conversation.
Yes.
Most importantly. Might be a wine that dealing with the stresses of real estate, which you have to deal with quite often. I often hear about the idea of staging. Why is home staging so important when people are selling their house?
It's a really good question, and it's more vital than ever in the market that we're in now. It's so important for a buyer to be able to come into a home and really envision what it would be like for them to live in that home and for their things to be in that home. So
you want to basically get rid of the family photos.
Right.
And what, declutter?
Decluttering is key. Absolutely. Get everything off of countertops. Anything trinkety needs to be put away. You know, a couple of key art pieces on a wall and maybe some little kind of minimalist vases.
And so to me, that actually brings probably a lot of ideas of what people should be doing to their home on a regular basis. How many, what carries over into regular everyday design from those lessons that you learned?
From staging lessons, I think for me personally, I've learned to be very minimalist. I've learned about furniture groupings. I think a lot of people think if you push a couch against a wall, it's going to make the room feel bigger. Something you can take home that'll really make your home feel a lot cozier, creating conversational spaces in a room. So a grouping of chairs here, you know, a dining set here, a couch here, even if you're in one big great room.
So these are all simple things that people can do
yes.
on their own without spending a ton of money, which is really cool. You work a lot, and I've been up to your home, in a beautiful home in Snoqualmie, which is suburban life put in the most beautiful setting ever, right? You've got these beautiful mountain vistas, creeks, waterfalls, a nice little town center.
Pretty great.
We're in downtown Seattle in a gritty kind of modern, or I say contemporary area of town. How much different is the aesthetic for people who are kind of in that eastern those mountain neighborhoods of Seattle compared to Seattle itself?
Well, I think in Seattle the Northwest contemporary architecture and design is prevalent whether you're in the mountains or downtown. Certainly down here it's going to be more of an urban feel. You're going to see a lot more metals and those kinds of things than, you know, when you get out a little bit further east and you're in the mountains, and you'll see a lot more of the, you know, reclaimed woods and things like that.
And then notice in your home, which I'm understanding to be very similar to some of the other styles out there, while it feels a little bit more warm than a modern place, it's still wide open. It has those big entertaining spaces. And then, of course, you take advantage of the views of the mountains, which can't go wrong.
Yeah.
What's your drink of choice? I know we're drinking this nice Malbec right now, but what do you go to on a Tuesday night?
Okay, well, a Tuesday night.
A Saturday night. Insert whatever night that you're comfortable admitting to drink.
You know, it kind of runs the gamut. It depends on what we're doing. I generally will drink a Malbec in the evening at home during the week. Yep. I do love a Maker's Mark before bed. A little bit of whiskey just before bed. It's not a terrible thing.
Has there been a little bit more of that since you've had a child?
I would say the bourbon intake has increased exponentially since being a mom.
That's awesome.
You know, and I also really love a good IPA,
Okay.
especially, you know, if I'm watching a game after skiing, a good IPA is a good way to go.
So bringing it back to one last question in the design world. So we know that a kitchen remodel makes a home easier to sell.
Yeah.
What are other, whether they're big or small, a couple other really important upgrades someone can consider to make their home more livable, but also more sellable when they're ready?
So I think the most important thing when you're getting ready to sell are kind of the big things, the really obvious things. You know, paint and flooring are huge. If you have walls that need to be painted, that's one of the first things a buyer's going to notice. And it's not a very expensive thing to take care of prior to selling, and you can add so much value just by repainting, refinishing hardwood floors, replacing carpeting, those kinds of you know, not super expensive, but still those are the things that will jump out right away.
And we'll add one thing. So we are, Katlin's going to be coming to our Cabaret and Credit event tonight. And by the time she walks out of that, she's going to adding a wine display to any living room area as a selling point. That's my goal tonight.
Absolutely. And it's definitely, you know, with most of the really high-end new builds we're seeing now, you're seeing some kind of a wine, if it's not a full wine cellar, you know, some kind of closet situation. So it's definitely becoming more and more popular.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming a little early today to come join me for a drink. I know I twist your arm for that. I'm looking forward to spending some more time with you this evening. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Wine and Design. We will see you again soon. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.